Alright, hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video for Tower of Fantasy. My name is Ventus, and what's good? Alright, guys, late last night, Tower of Fantasy posted on their social media the secondary banner that's going to be coming out alongside of Ling Han. And if you haven't seen that banner, I'll post a picture on the screen now. So we're going to be getting a chance to get Ulan, Icarus, and Elise. Now, I don't have any information on Elise because I don't have her. I skipped her. So if you have information on Elise, whether or not Elise is good at A0, A1, or if the character is just God tier at A6, let us know down in the comments. I'd really appreciate that for myself, because I want to know about it, and I'm pretty sure the people want to know about it. But in this video, I can tell you about Ulan and Icarus because I have both of those characters. Whether or not you should pull on them, whether or not they're going to be a good addition to your team, I hope to just give you my opinions and insights on that. Now, really quickly, if you are new here, if you've never been to this channel before for Tower of Fantasy, or if you are a returning viewer, definitely turn those notifications on. And after this video is over, head on over to my channel and check out some of the Tower Fantasy videos that I've made and that I will make in the future, because Tower Fantasy is a fun game and I really do enjoy playing and uploading guides and stuff for it. Now, if you have any questions about anything Tower Fantasy related, definitely let me know down in the comments and I will do my best to answer that question or make a full video on it. Alright, so let's get right into this. Alright, so the first questions that I probably will want answered if I'm thinking about, pulling on this banner for Ulan, Icarus, Elise, or whether or not those characters are good at A0, if they're good at A1, do they need to be A1, do they need to be A3, and are they gods at A6? So, when Tower Fantasy first came to PlayStation, I got Icarus because I needed a secondary ice DPS because I got Ulan, and Ulan was really, really good, and I wanted another ice DPS character to sort of round out my team if I was going to be DPS for Frost, because I have really good Frost armor. So I got Icarus, and I gotta tell you the truth, I was kind of like disappointed when Icarus when I first got him because the damage wasn't as good as Ulan, right? And I realized that this may be one of those characters that you have to get at Advancement 1 because I only have him at Advancement 0. So let's take a look at the Advancement 1 and read what it says, and then you can make a decision for yourself, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright, so his A1 says, when any weapon skill is used, Speedy Yo-Yo can trigger Harmony, dealing damage to nearby targets equal to 25% of the Wanderer's lost HP. The damage dealt shall be no less than 120% of the Wanderer's max attack and no more than 800% of the Wanderer's max attack. The type of elemental damage dealt will be that of the current weapon. When any damage discharge is used, Speedy Yo-Yo can trigger Tuning, dealing damage to nearby targets equal to 4% of the Wanderer's max HP. The damage dealt shall be no more than 400% of the Wanderer's max attack. The type of elemental damage dealt will be that of the current weapon. So after reading all of that, it definitely feels like this is one of those characters that you're going to have to get the advancements of to do more damage. Let's continue reading and see what it says for A3. When using Desolate Day, that's one of his skills I imagine, or that might be his discharge. Actually, let's see what Desolate Day actually is. That's the discharge, it's cap knowledge. Okay, so the skill is Desolate Day. Okay, so when using Desolate Day, Speedy Yo-Yo can trigger 9 seconds of swiftness. Speedy Yo-Yo speed is increased by 80%, damage is increased by 160%, and damage caused by passing through the target is converted to small area damage. So yeah, what I'm seeing now is that with more advancements, this weapon becomes like more and more dangerous. At 5 stars, increase damage of Speedy Yo-Yo and return to loneliness 50%, and 6 stars, increase final damage by 6% while Speedy Yo-Yo is active. Yeah, I think this is just a mediocre DPS at best. It might be super good. Like, I haven't really seen it for myself. It might just be completely amazing at A3, A6. But what it looks like, the A0 is going to be nothing. If you get the character, you're definitely going to want to A1 it. A3 might not be worth it, but I think, I'm not sure about that A6. If you have knowledge about this character, whether or not it is super worth it, definitely let us know down in the comments. But after reading everything I read, I'm not quite sure that getting past A3 is going to be worth it. A lot of these characters, you don't have to get past A3. But definitely, I think if you're going to get this character, you're going to have to A1 this character, because I have it at A0, and when I had it at A0, when it was like new, it just wasn't that good. It was kind of underwhelming, especially when, next to Ulan. Ulan is an amazing weapon. A0 Ulan is immaculate. If you pull on Ulan, you don't have to get A1, you don't have to get A3 because the weapon is great. A lot of people use Ulan for the Sweeping Force, because Sweeping Force, once you do it, you get another discharge skill. You use a discharge skill and you can use a second discharge skill right after it. So that's sort of like the the main like attractive factor of Ulan right now. So out of these banners, I don't know much about Elise, but I think A1 or A0 Ulan is definitely worth it if you don't have her. And if you do have Ulan, like me, I am going to actively try to get a higher constellation of Ulan. So Ulan's A1. Jesus Christ. Ice Crush Swift Cut. What is this? You just get this automatically. When Unity is equipped, upon landing a hit with any weapon's discharge skill, deal initial damage to nearby targets equal to 30% of Frost attack, plus 0.4% of the Wanderer's max HP, plus 15% of the sum of all Wanderer's resistance types, plus 55% of crit. While in combat state, after every 0.5 seconds, the next Swift Cut damage will be increased by an additional 1 time up to a maximum of 30 times. When multiple Swift Cut damages exist, the highest initial value is used for calculation. Swift Cut damage is counted as discharge skill damage. If there is 1 volt physical flame weapon of any kind equipped, Ice Crush damage is increased 1.3 times. In addition, Ice Crush damage is not affected by any damage boost except from Titan equipment's rare stats. And that's just base. That's just base. So a lot of thought went into Ulan. The A1 says, while in martial artist form, after consuming 3 or more internal strength, Unity restores 1 internal strength. Subsequently, the Wanderer's final damage is increased by 5%, and Unity's dodge attack, normal attack, is increased by 50% for 30 seconds. While in sweeping force form, after consuming 3 or more fighting spirit, Unity restores 1 fighting spirit. Subsequently, the Wanderer's final damage is increased by 5% for 15 seconds. The A3, I think this is where you get some healing back. In the martial artist form, if internal strength is not obtained within 5 seconds, the next acquisition of internal strength will grant 2 counts. In any form, when Unity consumes 3 or more internal strength or fighting spirit, restore 10% of the Wanderer's max HP. In solo play, the HP recovery is increased to 20%. Yeah, A3. If you do anything with Ulan, I think you definitely should get to A3. You might not have to get A5 or A6. A5, after Unity consumes eternal strength or fighting spirit, when receiving lethal damage, prevent lethal damage 1 time and recover 20% of the Wanderer's max HP. That's insane. A5 is super good. I don't even need to read anything else. That's super good. In solo play, HP recovery is increased to 40%. Yeah, 6 stars. While in martial arts form, Unity's dodge attack, normal attack damage is further increased by 70%. Jesus Christ. After consuming eternal strength, the Wanderer's final damage is increased to 10% for 30 seconds. While in sweeping force form, after Unity consumes fighting spirit, the Wanderer's final damage is increased by 50. Brother. A6 Ulan is a god. I'm just saying that right now. A6 Ulan is a god. So, I mean, if you're not exactly feeling Ling Han, which I can't read anything on Ling Han right now, we'll see when Ling Han comes out, I think a lot of resources should be spent on Ulan. This is a really good unit. There are a lot of units like Icarus where you get their advancements and it's not that good. You could probably like chill. I think that Ulan, you might want to mash the gas on Ulan because this becomes a god tier character. I think with that lethal damage and just being able to stay alive and getting your health back and stuff like that, it sort of like negates your ability to need a secondary healer. Because I gotta tell you, using this team with a healer is good. The way that I have it right now, I've got Fiona A3, A0 on Icarus, A0 on Ulan, and with a healer, really good build right here. But without a healer, not so much because you got to worry about dying. If you have the advancements on Ulan, looks like you probably get to save your life a lot. So that is really good. They probably had that in mind. So I think that Ulan is going to be a good pick. Icarus, probably going to take a backseat. So if you were to pull on this banner, if you're like me, I'm probably going to try to get at least A1 of Ling Han. And then I'm going to try to get this Ulan. I'm going to try to like advance my Ulan. If I can get Ulan to A3, then I'll worry about getting Icarus to like A1. But definitely, I think, like I said earlier, you're going to have to get at least A1 of Icarus. And if you're not feeling that, then you could probably skip Icarus altogether. Because his A0, like I said, it's underwhelming. I'm not really seeing a lot of good stuff out of him. Now, as far as Awakening goes, I just actually awakened Icarus for the first time about an hour ago for the first one. And his awakening is pretty good. It's very basic. I don't know if you would use this over other awakenings. His first awakening, after equipping Precious 1, increase final damage by 10%, while using Precious 1, increase Shatter by 20%. I can tell you from a little bit of experience now, his Shatter is ridiculous on his discharge skill. It breaks shields. So his second awakening, Molten Feathers, after equipping Precious 1, increased final damage by 15%, while using Precious 1, increased Shatter by 45%. I'm just not sure if this is worth it over like a Fiona Awakening or a Nemesis Awakening if you're going to have them on your team. I'm not sure, but if you're going straight DPS and there's other people like depending on other people for your heals, then this could be a good Awakening, because this is something that you could like pretty much use through all of your characters. That final damage, like I was always told, that final damage in this game is final. So you definitely want stuff that says good final damage. So that's at least very good. Now when it comes to Ulan, brother, the character is godlike. I don't have her awakenings just yet because they're super hard to get for whatever reason. But increased final damage by 13. Already she's got Icarus beat, bro. Increased final with her first awakening. Already she's got Icarus beat. Increased final damage by 13% while in martial artist form. Additionally, increased final damage by 7%. That's ridiculous, bro. She is a DPS. While in the sweeping force form, for every one frost weapon equipped, increased damage dealt via consuming spirit by 9%. When 3 frost weapons are equipped, increased frost damage by 8%, so that's pretty good. And then the final one, attention, increased final damage by 18% while in the martial arts form. Additionally, increased final damage by 7% while in the sweeping force form. For every 1 frost weapon equipped, increased damage dealt via consuming fire spirit by 9%. When 3 frost weapons are equipped, increased frost damage by 8%. So, I mean, I feel like Ulan is definitely going to be the better choice here. Ulan might even be a better choice than the Ling Han character, but then I don't know, man. I have to get Ling Han and see how she is. I feel like you get Ling Han to like A3 at the very least. Yeah. All right, so now I'm just going to show you this team in action. Fiona, Ulan, and Icarus. So I've got Fiona equipped right now. So let's just switch to Icarus and use his skill and do some damage there. We've got, yeah, that skill is going crazy right now. It's just damage, this AoE. Look at that damage. This is good. This is fantastic. Like, imagine that with, like, a really good frig. The skill is... So, it's called Desolate Day. Deal damage to nearby targets up to 660% of attack plus 2,498. And create 2 regulation speedy yo-yos. Cooldown 60 seconds. Reduce the speed of targets within range of Desolate Day by 50%. Does not affect wanderers or bosses. Each speedy yo-yo passes through the center of the trajectory about 4 times in each motion cycle, dealing damage equal to 30% of attack plus 114 to targets within the trajectory for 70 seconds. The motion cycle lasts for 4 seconds when the weapon is 0 stars. During this period, the Desolate Day will refresh the position and duration of speedy yo-yo, cooldown 4 seconds. While Desolate Day is in use, reduce damage taken by 50% and recover 5% of max HP. This cannot be affected by any healing boost effect. Recovery and damage reduction will not take effect in Apex League. And it says Return to Loneliness. Tap the skill button to cast. Okay, use Cap Knowledge to obtain up to 2 uses of the new skill Return to Loneliness. This skill can only be used while Desolate Day is in cooldown. Deal skill damage equal to 440% of attack plus 1,666 while the skill is in use. Reduce damage taken by 50%. Recover 5% of max HP. This cannot be affected by any incoming or outcoming healing boost effects. So that's pretty cool. And a discharge. Upon switching this weapon, remove all debuffs from the Wanderer. Dealing damage equal to 1,113.9% of attack. Wow. Plus 4,260 nearby targets, and launching the target during this period gain damage immunity for 1.5 seconds. So that's actually really, really good. Alright, so this is the boss. So let's go ahead and freeze him in place and hit one of these discharges. Or, no, just that's a Ulan skill. Alright, so put this down, put that down, put up my shield. Alright, what I want to do now is, I'm on Ulan, so let's hit the discharge skill here for Icarus and hit the skill. And then we got the new skill, right? Okay, so we froze him in place. Okay, now hit this. Oh, so we get 2 charges of that, right? That's what it said. Alright, so let's hit this Fiona. And then he's got his shield up, right? So what I want to do is switch back to Ulan, smash him like that, hit that, okay, and then put the shield up. Okay, we got discharge again. Let's go hit the Icarus discharge and bomb. Okay, we got that skill going. Where did this guy go? He completely disappeared. Oh, he's running around. Okay, that's cool, buddy. All right, let's hit one of these things, and then maybe we freeze him in place with Fiona. Very good. And then we Fiona skill. Where did he go? He has completely disappeared. All right, so let's go ahead and attack him like this, and then let's hit the skill. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Where's he going now? Put out my thalassic heart. Okay, freeze him in place. Hit one of these, and then hit one of those, and then let's go and do this. It's, brother, I don't even know. I was just pressing buttons, focusing on doing damage, and I guess I killed the poor thing. Alright, so let me know down in the comments, is Icarus going to be in the cards for you, or are you going to focus straight on Ulan, or are you going to focus on Ling Han? I would suggest focus Ling Han, and then Ulan. I'm not exactly sure which one is going to be the best for you to focus on, but if you're definitely planning on skipping Ling Han so you can get the next one, Nan Ying, I think, you don't want to sleep on Ulan at all. You do not want to sleep on Ulan. Let me know down in the comments what you decide.